about.
They have a new ad that they put out after you said you thought you were going to win the majority that says the title was all at stake. It said that you would like to institute a single-payer health care program and raise taxes. I think they mean roll back the tax cuts that they passed this year. Is that, what do you make of that?
Well, the second part there is accurate. I do think that we should revisit tax legislation in the way that we always have, in a bipartisan, transparent way, that the result is unifying for the country. I do object to what they did in the dark of night and the speed of light to put forth something that gives 83% of the benefits to the top 1%. 86 million middle-income families will pay more taxes in the life of this bill, even though they call it a middle-class bill. Gives $1.5 trillion worth of tax cuts to corporate America, adding over $2 trillion to the national debt because of the interest on that money. And part of that benefit to corporate America is to give them a benefit to create jobs overseas rather than here. The list goes on. But what's more shameful about it, and what evokes hundreds of meetings across the country, we know over 1,000 from our grassroots folks, is that what it does to the budget. It's a dark cloud over the budget. It's a dark cloud because soon after the bill was passed, the president released his budget. Say $1.5 trillion to corporate America and interest on the loan, few $100 billion more. What did he say? Take $1 trillion out of Medicaid, take $0.5 trillion out of Medicare, $200 billion out of food stamps, $200 billion out of education. Again, a budget that is not a statement of the values of meeting the needs of the American people. So their value system, they have made clear. Yes, I do oppose that. I do think that we could have worked together to reduce the corporate rate, not the way they did to that extent, but in a way that would create growth, generate good-paying jobs, and reduce the deficit. What they did was the complete reverse. Single payer is, well, when I was pushing strollers and carrying signs all those years ago, it was about everyone having access to health care, and that is the path to that is the Affordable Care Act. And I feel very protective of it, very proud of it. The Affordable Care Act stands as a pillar of economic and health security for America's families. Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act. And so soon, as I mentioned earlier, as soon as the election was over, we knew we had to get to work to protect the Affordable Care Act. That's the path, I think, to quality, affordable access to health care for all. Now, in my district, if they want to go in there and say that I'm for the single payer, because one of my opponents says I'm a corporate centrist, and that's why I have to be opposed. In San Francisco, I'm a corporate centrist, and they're something else.
We're going to go to our colleague, Heather Colley.